I'm in the matrix. Like I'm wearing the glasses and I'm playing this game. And the game with business is you don't know what you're doing. Somebody else knows better. Somebody else has all the solutions, all of the answers, right?
Everything became so much more simple when we were just operating in alignment with like who we really are.
All freaking day, you guys. I get this still to this day, and people will tell me like, look at this person, look at all their views, you know? You see views and you're like, I want views. But what if I told you all those views were getting people $0 and 0 clients? Hi, friend. Today I am back with my favorite co-star, Peter Hagstrom, my husband, coach to the greatest leaders of all time, my number one coach. And today we have a good episode. We are talking about how to know you are on the right track with your business, okay? So if you have been feeling like, I love my business, I love this, but like, do I need to pivot? Is this the right move for me? How do I know? How do I gauge success? This is the episode for you. That's what we're talking about.
Yes, we're going to talk about how we knew we were on the right track and things to look for in your own business, things to consider to keep yourself in that vibration of, hey, like this is working out for me.
Peter's the vibe man.
I'm the vibe.
But are you the vibe or am I the vibe? Who do you think is more the vibe? Like, be real. Be honest.
We have a different vibe.
Okay. Can you tell the people about the vibe?
I bring the relaxation and you bring the intensity.
Oh, that's good, you guys. You should hear him banging around here all the time. He's
I drop like one little thing and she's like, you're so loud. I'm like, it's just slipped out of my hand. Like,
let me just tell you, how many windows do you think we have in this house?
Like 100.
100. How many times a day do you open and close the windows?
Like 2.
So about 200 times.
They don't all open.
All freaking day, you guys. The blinds.
Yes, she would rather just be in a stuffy, dark house.
No, light. I don't like the dark. I'm always like, can we have the lights on? Can we have the windows open? And he's like,
how can you have it open without going?
But he's like temperature control. I will give him that. He's always keeping the house at like the perfect temperature. Our vibes are different, but I wouldn't say that your vibes are like the relaxed vibes and mine are not. Because sometimes I'm the relaxed vibes. I'm setting the tone. I'm setting the mood for the day.
Yeah. It's like that 80-20 rule, 80% of the time, 20% of the time. Is that how that works?
Okay. I also think that what we do, and we have done this since we really started thriving in our relationship, was we switch. If one person has a lower vibe, the other person knows that they need to have the higher vibe.
It just happens automatically.
Oh, that's a fun word. That's a fun word, but it's true.
No, it's true. It's like, it's instantly. Like, I can think I'm like having a hard time and a bad day, and then she could come out, and then I realize, no, like,
I love how you went that way.
She's like, she's not having a good time. Well, I speak from my perspective. Yeah. That's where I switch.
Yeah.
If you're the low person, you're not switching. You're just staying where you are.
Yeah.
But the other person has to go high.
Yeah.
So what I just said, she does for me, of course.
Totally. So I think that is kind of like our vibes are very complementary and very similar. And I think that's kind of what happens in partnerships. You know, that's what I always hope for all of like my people and my friends, is that they have a partner that can hold space for them and be there for them, right? When needed. But like, yeah, how we think about things is very similar. So how we think about business, how we think about if we're on the right track, it's very similar.
Yeah. And this topic of how do I know I'm on the right track in my business is something that we have talked about how many times? Like probably hundreds of times, but we don't do it as much anymore.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I think
some of the things that we're going to share, once you kind of get into it, it's just more natural and you don't really have to think about it.
Yeah, I think let's talk about that. I want to go back to the beginning of our business and then to like where we are now, so you can kind of see the evolution, because you might be where we're at right now, or you might be more at the beginning of your journey there's still so much that you can take from this and apply. And we love hearing from you guys. So if you are resonating with this episode, you like this episode, let us know. You can tag me on social media, send me a DM. I'm always like sharing it with Peter. Like, we love the feedback. So, okay, so let's talk about like when we first started. I feel like it's interesting. I feel like when we first started and then where we are now, kind of similar vibes. But then in the middle, it gets a little bit messy and you can kind of like lose yourself or look to what other people are doing.
Yeah.
So like what would you say the vibe was at the beginning and our thoughts around this?
Okay, perfect. The reason why we started working for ourselves, we're going back to that point.
Yeah, that's
Is this
good.
is kind of like 2011. So this is like 14 years ago. We just realized like we need to be working for ourselves. We really don't do well working for other people. But we were also we had these things that we were just like so excited about. At the time, it was health and wellness. And we were so passionate about that. And so that's just like, we just wanted to spend all of our time doing that.
Mm.
And so that was our motivation. That was our vision for ourselves. But we didn't know for like 2 years of trying different things. We didn't really know it was going to be coaching.
Mhm.
But when we got to that point, then it's almost like, yeah, we were at the starting line of coaching, but we had been kind of doing other things for a couple of years.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point because I think a lot of people are like, I've been doing this for like so many years, when is it going to take off? When is it going to be making more money? And it's like it's all just like leading you to your next thing, It's like for me, even like with what I'm doing right now, like it's different than what I was doing like a week ago. Like, I'm always taking the information that I'm getting in from clients, from my higher self, from, my own alignment, my goals, and like tweaking it. And so that's why I often say, like, I feel like I'm just getting started because it's like a rebirth. Like every day it's like a rebirth. Here I am.
Yeah.
Like, we're starting fresh here.
I guess like the way that we've kind of learned to think about it is that we're always on the right track,
Mm-hmm.
even if monetarily it doesn't look like it. Engagement and conversations, and like if all of that is not looking like it, we would still believe that we're on the right track. We're headed in the right direction.
Yeah.
But I think also kind of early on, because we're still talking about like the early days, like we would look at other people
Mm-hmm.
and then we would think, wow, we're not on the right track. We need to do what they're doing because they're on the right track.
Yeah.
Or so it seems.
Which I feel like is such a beginner thing because I get this still to this day and people will tell me like, look at this person, look at all their views, I even had a coach who came to my Conversations That Convert. Hey, that was a good event. I loved that. Did you guys love that? If you missed it, you can still get it. It's on our website, sarahhegstrom.com. But I had a coach who came and she's like, Sarah, I don't see any health coaches with like these freebies that you talk about. So like they must not be for health coaches. And like what you see, and a lot of you guys who have been in business for a while, you know this, but what you see on the outside, like, is not what's going on behind the scenes, right? And so like you see views and you're like, I want views. But what if I told you all those views were getting people $0 and 0 clients? And then here I am, with like 200, 300 views and clients nonstop coming in. You know what I mean? And so I think that we did that at the beginning where we looked at people, like tone it up and we're like, they have so many followers. They're doing so great. We should create an ebook about like health and wellness. And those of you who have been following me for a while, that ebook did not do very well or sell any. Like, it was not a hit, right? Because you can't copy what somebody else is doing. You're on your own path, right? You can look to it for inspiration for sure. But when people tell me, oh, I want a business like Gabby Bernstein, I want a business like this coach, and they'll send me their page, I'm like, that coach is living in alignment. They're living in their purpose, and that is what you're picking up on. So you have to live in your own purpose, alignment, and joy, and people will be able to pick up on that as well. I also like to say this, the people who are doing things and it looks so easy, usually it's because they've put in a lot of work, time, and energy to make it look easy, right? So you see somebody doing content and you're like, they speak so well. It's like they've been speaking for a long time. I think about one of our favorite children, our best friend Carrie's son, he is a dancer. He is 5 years old and he dances so well. But even him, like he was learning the Deadpool dance. He's watching it over and over and over again so he can get like the pose, or he like falls on the floor. If you guys haven't seen it, it's so cute, right? And so it's like, if things aren't happening really quickly, if they're not coming to you really easily, it doesn't always mean that you're out of alignment or it's not working. It might just mean that you need to put in more time, effort, practice, and like you will get there too.
Yeah. Yeah. When I think about our baby entrepreneur selves, I think about how we had a lot more doubt in like what our path was and if we were on the right track. And going along with that, we didn't have as much confidence as we did later on.
Definitely.
And so I think it's interesting to think about how did we remove the doubt? How did we become more confident? Like, what are the things that made us more confident in knowing that we were on the right track and we don't need to copy other people? Like, you can be inspired by what people are doing, you know, and you're kind of like taking mental notes of like, oh, hey, maybe I could try this. But you're not looking to it like, hey, this is going to solve my problems. Like, this is exactly what my business needs, as if it's like a silver bullet or something.
Yeah. I think a big thing is working with people. And for me, the more people I work with and the more that I would share what was true for me. Like, I remember one of the first posts I did that went viral for me was about how I grew up in dysfunction, like a dysfunctional family, and how, you know, I'm not a great speller, and kind of like pretty much like, here are my flaws, and like I don't want to hide them from people anymore because it's really hard. And I learned that right away. It's really hard to show up online as somebody who you're not, right? Like, Peter used to edit a lot of like my written posts, and that would take so much time because I wanted to come across as perfect. I wanted to come across as, I'm a great writer, I'm a great speller, I'm a great coach. Like, I look good, I sound good, I know what I'm doing, right? And when I did this post, and I was like, actually, like, I'm not perfect. I didn't come from a perfect family. You know, I'm not good with grammar or writing, but like, I'm a good coach, and like, I care, and like, this is what I've done. People were like, oh, I resonate with this. Me too, me too, me too. And it was like permission for me to be myself, and people resonated with that even more than when I was trying to be somebody else. And so I think that really boosted my confidence. So I was like, oh, they were okay with that part of me. What about if I just share this? And then I just started feeling like it's more enjoyable to be myself online and just share whatever I want. And I kind of feel like I just like ripped away like the filter. I was like, okay, I'm just doing whatever I want, whenever I want. And that, honestly, that's my favorite, because that's why I didn't thrive working for somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, because like some days I want to be a little bit reserved and quiet, and I don't want to be having conversations and posting all the time. And so when you make your own rules for business, it gets to work with your personality and with your style versus somebody else's. So I think that like really boosted my confidence.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so we had a lot of confidence for like a while, and we were health coaches. And then we shifted into business coaching in 2019, helping health coaches with their businesses. And then that was like going really well. And even into like COVID, and everybody's going online, and we're like, wow, this is great. And then a couple years later, all of a sudden we had like all these like funnels set up, and like we had like this team, and we were like right in the middle of scaling. And then things just like kind of just slowed down to the point where we realized like, okay, we need to like shift directions here. Like, what we're doing is not really what we want to be doing, and it also wasn't working. So it was like, okay, very clearly, it's like we thought we were on the right track, but then what we wanted changed, and so we wanted to shift our focus and pivot more into like spiritual coaching.
Yeah.
and doing like spiritual offers.
I think that that's, like, kind of, like, missing a lot because during that time, I was having a lot of health challenges, and I feel like I'm kind of the main energy of the business, and so when I started having health challenges, I started then, like, doubting myself, and I think that that is, I would say, one of the most important things to pay attention to is how you perceive yourself and your business and how things are going, because as soon as I started doubting myself and feeling, like, the lowest I'd ever felt, I've talked about this a million times, you guys are probably so tired of it, but as soon as I went really low, business started to go really low, and I think that that is something to be aware of, and I got really wrapped up in my emotions and had a really hard time, like, coming out of it, and so I think that, when it comes to how do you know if your business is on the right track, for me, it's like, I need to be feeling like I'm on the right track.
So yeah, things got really challenging there for a while, but I think that is like, and Sarah and I, we say this all the time, where it's like that is kind of how coaching works. You are evolving as a person, and the people that you are helping and what you are helping them with is also evolving.
Yeah.
I mean, how natural is that?
Mhm.
For a coach to stay coaching on one thing for like so many years, they're probably not evolving, or they are, but they're just continuing to I think there's kind of a disconnect there. For us, we have a hard time imagining how we could ever possibly be like in alignment and in the flow and like really like fulfilled with the work if we weren't coaching following where we've been. We need to be like evolving what we're offering along with our own evolution.
Yeah. And I think everybody's journey is different, right? Like, as souls, like, we're all here to do different things, but Peter and I are very similar in that, where it's like when we're growing, then we're sharing what we're learning. And I remember when we transitioned from health coaching to business coaching, I had a hard time. I used to have a hard time at letting go of things, like, especially things that were working. I had a hard time releasing them. And I think it's because I wasn't as connected to my soul and my higher self as I am now. And so I used to feel like, oh, if I let this go, then what if I'm making a mistake, or, the right, like, actually isn't the right move for me. And so when we transitioned from health coaching to business coaching, I remember feeling like, oh man, I'm letting all these people down. It was like really hard and emotional, but it was harder to do both. I felt too pulled in two different directions, and that was really overwhelming as well. And so I think, like, for us, the more that we do what is in our highest good, what feels right in the moment, like, the easier it gets and the more supported we are and the more that it works out for us.
Yeah, it's such a great point. I really do feel as well that everything became so much more simple when we were just operating in alignment with like who we really are. Like you're just like imagining it's like your soul is just coming through, and like you're acting from that position, from that part of you. And you really can't go wrong. Like I would say, like, how to know if you're on the right track. If you can really get to that place where like you are literally operating as like your higher self, like you can't go wrong.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
cannot, it's not possible to go wrong, because like you want to be in that energy. You're operating as your higher self. This is what I want to, this is my attention, this is my focus. And then to stay there and to realize like when you're kind of going up and down and when you're experiencing emotions and having the awareness and bringing yourself back to that higher place.
Yeah. Yeah, we talk a lot. Well, I talk a lot about, aligned and signed strategy that I teach, and I talk about niche and offers and all of these things. But I talk also about how I have sold a lot of things not having those. Like, I have sold programs that, like, the marketing was so bad, you guys, like, literally, like, fall into balance. Do you remember that? It's like, I've been able to sell a lot of different things because even though the marketing in my mind now looking back was not great, the name was not great, my energy was behind it and I felt excited about it, right? And that excitement and that energy can literally move mountains. It's amazing, So sometimes I'll get clients and they'll be like, I don't want a niche. I just want to show up and share this and this and this. And I'm like, awesome, go do it, and they get results. And then I have other clients who are like, should I have a niche? I don't know. What about this? I don't know. What about this? I don't know. And they just struggle no matter what they take on because their energy isn't behind it. And that is so, so, so powerful. When I look back at our journey in our coaching business and when we were making less money or had less clients, or we're doing different things, I still look back at it with so much pride and just proud of what we created and what we were doing, even if it wasn't, the best or didn't turn out the best or didn't have the best result. And I think that that's really important too, to be able to look at your entire journey through, man, I was doing a really good job. And we say that to each other all the time. Like if you were in our house, you would constantly hear us, hey, you're doing a great job today, just like constantly. And I think that, again, that has to do with the energy and the vibration.
Yeah, we've always been pretty good with that. Like we've always been fairly positive in terms of what we're doing, really focusing on like what's been working well too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also kind of plays into that.
I mean, that would be our takeaway and our focus, right? Like if you want to know if you're on the right track with your business, like start focusing on what's working. Start celebrating your wins. Start paying attention to that.
Yeah.
Makes a really big difference.
I remember in the beginning of our business journey, we would really be thinking about, okay, what's the best name? What's the best price?
Mm-hmm.
What's the best, business model? Because we've tried them all, it's like, are we doing a funnel?
Live launches.
Doing, yeah, exactly. Live launches. Are we doing like a membership site?
Mm-hmm.
Like we have tried it all. What we currently recommend in like Sarah's like Align and Signed framework, like that is like, it's like, this is how you should get started. What am I doing?
But what's so funny is like, that's how you should get started. But like, we're not just getting started and that's how we operate.
Yeah.
So it's like for coaches, everybody's goals and lifestyle and desires are different. But for us, like we really value simplicity. We really value freedom. We really value making a good amount of money for the effort that we're putting in. And so that I would say is like who the framework is for.
Yeah.
Like the most foolproof way to run a coaching business.
Yeah. For so many years, we were trying to scale our business and hire on a team. And it got really complicated. It got very time intensive. And it took a lot of our energy.
Mm-hmm.
And now we like get excited about like cutting things out of our business and just simplifying it just a little bit more. And we get excited about that.
Well,
because that is the opposite direction of what most coaches in business like are teaching. It's like, do more. We're like, okay, how can we do less?
Yeah, like my clients, they'll be like, okay, I'm going to do like this page and this funnel and this. And I'm like, what if we see if we can sell it without a page? What if we see if we can just sell it with a DM? Like the least amount of things you can do to sell the thing, because if you can do that, you can always add more to it, but don't start adding all of these things.
Yeah, because it's not even validated.
Yeah.
Like you have to validate the offer and like what you're doing before you build anything off of it. And if we built something off of it, it would be pretty small.
Yeah.
Like we don't have much automation in our business
anymore.
And you guys would be shocked at the level of automation that we used to have.
Well, and it's so much easier to update it. I think that people spend so much time.
You forget to update things because you have so many of them. And then people are like, what's going on with this page? You're like, wow, I haven't looked at that for like 2 years. And it's like way outdated. And you're like, man, that's why we like going simple.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to go back through everything all the time.
I think that people kind of romanticize like a team, and they're like, they show like working with people and it's so fun. And it's like, I don't have to do all this stuff. And you see that. But like, I always like to say like, what you don't see behind the scenes is like actually the really important stuff. So like you don't see the hours on Zoom calls, the editing what your clients or your teammates do, the fixing things, the scheduling, like
Working on the weekend just so you can get ready for the next week.
And it's the same with like looking at what other people are doing. I'll hear coaches and they'll be like, why does she have this many views or this many followers? I do the same thing. And it's like you're seeing the front end, you're not seeing behind the scenes. Behind the scenes is what, if you could see, you would have such a different perspective. And what I mean by that is, coaches who are making a lot of money and they're posting, like, you're not seeing like how many conversations they're having. You're not seeing all the hours that they're working, what they're thinking about on the weekends. And then even like some of the coaches who have a lot of views, like they're the ones that are messaging me saying that they don't have clients. Like there's just so much behind the scenes that you don't even realize are happening, which is why it's super important to focus on you and your journey and your values and your alignment and where you want to go versus other people, which is a practice. With social media, it's all in our face all the time. And so like we have to have some boundaries around social media.
Yeah, and there is very much a way where you can have success and you can have growth without looking at like what other people are doing, and with the idea of they're having success and it's because of like what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why they're having what you perceive as success, like you don't actually know
Mm-hmm.
what that is
Mm-hmm.
because they're kind of doing their own thing,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And just because they're making money doesn't mean that they actually feel fulfilled and successful like in their lives. You don't actually know.
I remember when we were making like the most money that like we'd ever made in our business, and I just wanted like the people to leave me alone. Like I just felt so overwhelmed all of the time.
Yeah.
It's like when you it's
constant.
It's constant.
There's no break because you're working on the weekend.
You're working on the weekend, you're working all the time.
And if you want to take a vacation, you're working so even more to get ready. Then you go on vacation, you kind of have to be checking in all the time. And then when you're done with vacation, you've got all of like this kind of like backlog.
Peter always hates like the working on vacations because I just did it for so long, and if I'm doing it, that means he's doing it, so I feel like you always get like an energy when it's like working on vacation.
Well, honestly, it's like if you're working a job, for the most part, when you go on vacation, you get to just totally unplug.
Mm-hmm.
There's some jobs where you can't do that, or your employer is like not expecting you to, or you just have a hard time. But like when you're an entrepreneur, like when you take time away from your business, like your business stops. Because like you are your business. And Sarah, she was running like 7 team members, and even our business was like slowing down because she was the heart of it.
Yeah.
Like it was still dependent upon her. So like, yeah, this idea of, wanting to like scale and stuff, it really was, we were romanticized by it. And we were so determined that like, this is what we're going to do. And we were just like, when we realized we didn't want that anymore, it was like, excellent.
Yeah.
Just get rid of all of it.
Yeah.
It's like our team members is like, we love you so much, but it's like, we're moving in a different direction.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, going back to it, it's like you can make great money and be fulfilled. Like I feel like we literally have done that now. And so it's like that can happen, but you have to be connected to your own values and where you're going. And, with social media, like I see other people like doing cool stuff and like inspired by them, but I'm never like, oh, I should do what they're doing, right? It's more just like, oh, I'm super inspired by them. And I think that that's the energy of knowing you're on the right track with your business. It's like you can see other people doing things and you're like, that's awesome. I'm still on my path. I'm still doing my path. Like I just never think I'm not on the right path with business anymore because like business is aligned with like who I am. So if I'm on the right path with like who I am and how I'm spending my time, then like of course my business is on the right track.
Yeah, it's become so simple. But in the beginning, I think there was just like this, I don't know, it was like a push and a pull, and we were just trying to figure it out, but like we just didn't really, we didn't have like that alignment with like who are you? Who are you like best suited to help? And then it's like, boom, that's it. Okay. And then you can kind of start like clarifying beyond that.
Mhm.
But like, it really is like that simple. And yeah, it's just about like just taking like that next step. And it's okay for like things to not be working well and for you to be aware of those, but we're just not fixating on them.
Mhm.
Okay. We want to be really like, hey, things are working
Yeah.
out. We're in that energy and we're feeling really good. And we're not in this energy of problem, problem, problem. It's all broken.
Yeah.
Just throw it all away.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's never all broken. It's just little things that need to be tweaked and improved. And some days for me, I can feel overwhelmed with all the things, like we run ads and we'll get all these ads up and they're working, they're good. And then I'll be having conversations. I'll be like, wait, these aren't my people. Oh, I gotta update my messaging. And so all these ads that I got all up and running and perfect, I'm redoing them all.
It's like a multi-week process.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
And
yeah.
so it's just like sometimes, yeah, you can feel overwhelmed with it, but it doesn't mean that I'm on the wrong track or, it's like now I just have things to fix and work on. But this is also why I say do a business you're obsessed with. Like, because I wake up and I'm like excited to work on this stuff. On the weekends, you'll see me planning content sometimes, writing lists, planning videos because I love doing this. Whereas if it was something that I didn't love doing, I'm not going to be very happy about that, And so with business, like really focusing on what you love doing and nothing else you would rather be doing. And I think we've had that from the beginning. I think that's why we were able to work for so long for free is because we enjoyed it and we were passionate about it.
Yeah. One of the first things I look to when I hear like, hey, like somebody is working their business, they're doing all the things and it's just not working. The first thing I think about is like, what are you supposed to be doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like just very, very basic, are you trying to help the people that are going through what you have been through? Because as a coach, that is the most natural thing that happens with coaches. You go through something and then you can help other people through that thing.
Yep.
It's like if they're trying to help people with something that's outside of that, for me, I'm like, very obvious, that's where I would start. I'm not saying like that's exactly what it is, but again, for us personally, we want it to be in alignment. We would want to help people. We are most passionate about helping people with the things that we have gone through.
Yeah. And that's the thing, you guys, that people would always come to me for is like, I would go through something, I would talk about it, and then they would ask. That's literally how we got into business coaching was from clients being like, I like how you run your business.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, still, that's the thing. I like how Sarah shows up online. I want to show up that way. It feels so easy. It feels so natural. Like, I want freedom. I don't want to work all the time.
Yeah. So we've gone through a lot. And so we've pivoted a lot because it's like every time we go through like a new chapter, a milestone, and we kind of graduate beyond that, now all of a sudden we're able and suited to help, like a new group of people.
Yeah.
And so like, it is kind of like a wide range, but if you look at like what Sarah's offering, like she helps on a variety of levels because she's operated on all of those levels.
Yeah.
So it's okay to do more than one thing. It doesn't need to be so limited.
Yeah.
Okay. So wrapping it up, how do we know we're on the right track in business?
Decide that you're on the right track in your business. As soon as you decide that you're on the right track, you will be on the right track. You will obtain the right track. And it doesn't mean that there are not things to improve. I'm always taking the input that I'm receiving and tweaking things and adjusting things, right? It doesn't mean that everything is perfect all of the time, but it's always the right track.
Yes, and it can be light and it can be fun.
Yeah.
We can be having a good time, like we realize we're so serious and then we like also know we have a choice. Like being serious is a choice and we can choose to just be lighter again, right?
Yeah.
We can just be more easygoing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's such a good point. It is a choice. I'm always like taking off my virtual reality glasses, right? And remembering like, oh, this is just a playground. Like, I'm just playing here for a limited amount of time, and I want to have an impact. I want to help people, and I want to be doing the work that I'm here to do. So, like, go do it, Sarah. Like, that's what I tell myself. Like, oh, I want to, like, help people. Well, go freaking help people. Like, there's so many people that need the work that you're doing, the work that we're doing. And so it's like, okay, I'm on the right track. I'm helping people. It's all working out. We're doing a great job.
Yeah, very, just very affirmative,
Mhm.
right? You know, like, this is what I'm creating.
Yeah.
And looking for the signs
Mhm.
of that is working out.
Yeah.
Because you will see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to be looking for them, and you just have to be also kind of just detached,
Yeah.
releasing that control, just detaching from the outcome, and you have your intention, you're creating, you're trying to be aware of when you have your virtual reality goggles on. Is that yeah?
Yeah, it's because it's like how let me explain it. I always say this, but I don't know if people understand. But it's like it's kind of like I'm in the Matrix. Like I'm wearing the glasses and I'm playing this game. And the game with business is you don't know what you're doing. Somebody else knows better. Somebody else has all the solutions, all of the answers, right? You're wearing the glasses. You're behind, you're not making enough money, you're not helping enough people, like fear, be afraid, challenging. And so I'm wearing those. I'm on social media, I'm wearing them, I'm doing it. And then I'm like, I have awareness. I realize I'm wearing the glasses and I take them off and I'm like, oh, I am in control. I am winning. I am on track with my business. Life is good.
Yeah, that's
right?
cool.
And
That's
so
cool.
it's like, yeah.
So it's like you're in the illusion,
Mhm.
because I mean, we all do that. Come on, we all do that. I do that. You're in the illusion
Mhm.
of what reality is, and then you step back, and then you're like, oh, and then it's like you can see. It's like you have clarity
Exactly.
of what like the true reality is.
Which I think some people would say like they do breath work and they connect with that, right? Or they meditate and they connect with that.
And we're saying you can just think of it and you can connect with that.
Yeah.
Hey, no
Yeah.
cold plunging or blood breath work
Okay,
necessary.
but I have been missing a cold plunge.
I'm not. Yeah,
I'm manifesting
Yes.
a cold plunge, you guys, because I've been missing my cold plunge lately.
we just got to get a commercial ice maker and maybe a big freezer.
Yeah, I'm open. If you want to make one, Peter's Projects, I'm totally open to that, babe. Okay, let's wrap this up. I just wanted to say thank you for listening. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, I want to invite you to Aligned and Signed Academy, because Peter and I every month do calls where we talk about this with everybody. We go back and forth. We talk about what's going on in your business. Aligned and Signed Academy, it has the strategy piece, it has Aligned and Signed framework, but then it also has the alignment piece, which we were talking about today. So if you want to come and riff with us, tell us what's going on in your business, we would love to have you. And I'm confident that you can find the link to join.
Same.
I always say that.
Same.
All right, you guys.
SarahHeckstrom.com/Plan Academy.
Okay, guys, until next time. Bye, friend.
Bye.